share with me, how did Junkanoo start off?
So the myth is that Junkanoo, the name is from a favorite slave whose name was John Canoe, that he danced the best.
Okay, all right.
It is so important to us to truly dispel that myth. So research tells us that Junkanoo comes from the name Jernard. That's the name of an African warrior. The British, which we were a British colony, pronounced his name John Canoe. But his real name, pronounced in his language, was Jernard. He was an African warrior who, during the days of the onslaught of the African countries, held a fort for 7 years against the Dutch, the British, and the French. And from his fort, not one person was taken into captivity for 7 years.
Wow.
During those 7 years, he amassed an army of tens of thousands of different African tribes that came together to defend themselves. Well, we all know the transatlantic ship journey. Well, we all got off the ship in different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we all started the journey in the same place. Junkanoo is not only a Bahamian thing. Junkanoo is celebrated in North Carolina, Belize, Jamaica, Suriname, and the Bahamas. So the fact that Junkanoo is celebrated in all these different countries tells us it wasn't just the best dancer on one island in the Bahamas.
Yes.
It was the name of their leader. We were also warriors. We were also people who came together to defend ourselves successfully. Even though they were different African tribes, different cultures, they came together to fight for good and to resist, and they did it successfully. And that is who we are today. And that is the root of Junkanoo.
Roselle, I want to see more.
Let's go.
Yes, absolutely. Where are we now, Roselle?
We're at the drum wall.
Okay.
And this is a very important exhibit for us at the museum. Central to Junkanoo, we call it the heartbeat of Junkanoo, is the goatskin drum. One of the few things that our ancestors would have been allowed to bring onto the slave ships was the goatskin. And slave ships, research tells us, our ancestors would have been made to exercise to the rhythm of the goatskin drum while they were on those ships. We make anything into a drum in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Anything that you could find that is circular, that we could put some goatskin on the top of,
Wow.
we make it into a drum. A central theme for us at the museum is that the drums never stop. Because you think about it, if our ancestors literally brought goatskins onto the slave ships and they made it onto our shores, it's one of the few tangible things any of us can point to and say, this directly came from my heritage.
One of the things from a food side, I know that the okra seed was brought over to American and Western civilization through the slave trade. That's how okra landed.
So I learned something new. Okay, and
wow,
I love
so
okra.
We share knowledge.
Exactly.
Iron sharpens iron, yeah, and to learn this is so amazing.
It is, and it's our shared history. You know, I think it says to me that's a direct tie of the last 300 years.